Call to order for pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have two proclamations today. So, Dr. from Schuylkill County, whereas on Sunday, April 26, 2026, Avenues will hold its 38th annual duck race on the banks of the Oak Creek in front of St. Clair Walmart Super Center in St. Clair, Pennsylvania. And whereas thousands of rubber ducks will be available for adoption in order to be entered into the race. All donations from the duck adoptions will benefit children and adults participating in vital programs offered by Avenues. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Board of Schuylkill County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as Duck Month in Schuylkill County. We commend Avenues and all county volunteers who make this event successful. We urge all citizens of Schuylkill County who can consider adopting a duck in order to contribute for this worthy cause. Avenues does a great job of helping people in our county. They're always available. They always help everybody, and I think they do a really important job for our county. And we have a duck here. Maybe the duck wants to come down for a picture. And Josh will tell us where to stand, because that's Josh's job. Sure. On behalf of Avenues, employees of the board of directors, thank you, John, for designating the role as Duck Month. Dr. Regan, you so Avenues will be leading to our evaluation for family. What you do. Are we going to launch last year? I don't think we lost any last year. Launch. I reflect Peter for this is great. My mom's best friend in high school, son also was very clearly engineering company. He had a job and he was good and made it like part of the world. So that's a very personal one for us to write down. So.
Again, I've said many years that Avenues is a personal part of my family. My mother worked there for over 28 years before she retired. My sister was a consumer there. Definitely made the quality of life I know in our family and my sister's life as like anybody else. They make people like Superman. And again, they're the happiest people on the earth. And they continue on. So Avenues definitely reaches out both on the adult level, both on the children level, to make sure that we're treated like everybody else, like you and I that walk around. And again, for many, many years, where Mel Bartram started this organization just in her kitchen where there wasn't any assistance before, and she pulled that together, and now it's been 70-some years down the road. Everything else and definitely helping families.
And make sure we are 75th for all. That's pretty much. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Another proclamation. yeah, I'll just read quick, you know. Donate Life Month, whereas by being an organ and tissue donor, one individual can save and heal the lives of more than 100 people. During National Donate Life Month, we honor the compassion and generosity of the registered donors, donors' families, living donors, and recognize the commitment of researchers, innovators, champions, regional partners, medical professionals who have worked tirelessly to save and heal lives through transplants. Over 103,000 Americans are currently on the national transplant waiting list, and more than 5,000 men and women, children in different life development programs region are awaiting life-saving transplants. And whereas another person is added to the waiting list every 10 minutes, on an average, 17 people die every day because the organizations are not donating in time. Whereas the most effective way to address the public health crisis is to educate citizens and to encourage them to register as organ, eye, and tissue donors at www.donors1.org or at local DMV. Whereas since its founding in 1834, the Gift of Life Donor Program has been a world leader in saving and enhancing the lives of those in need of organ and tissue transplantation, and is committed to the increased public awareness of its importance of becoming a registered donor. Therefore, be it resolved that we, the Board of Schuylkill County Commissioners, encourage the residents of Schuylkill County to consider becoming an organ tissue donor by placing the organ donor designation on their driver's license or state ID, or by registering online. Sharing the decisions of your family in honor of those true heroes, we do hereby proclaim April 2026 to be Donate Life Month in Schuylkill County. You know, donating an organ saves people. You know, somebody here today that that his life was saved by a living donor. So a stranger can help how many different people survive, children, men, women, families, you know, help make families home. And in a way, the person that donated is still living on because a part of them is still alive and in this world. So it's a really good thing to do. So if you want to come down, yeah, you're doing good. Hanging in there.
The transplant program. And again, all it is as simple as when you get your license, is put that on there. And again, you know, God forbid that something happens, hopefully that your life is an extension to someone else's. So it's lending those, it's a very important program which saved probably millions now since it's been going. So thank you for what you do. You're a constant, and we definitely appreciate what you do in promoting the program.
Thank you. I only want to say one other thing. I know when I started this waiting like 20-some years ago, waiting for my heart and everything else, so I got it. Our county, when I started pushing for organ donation, we were at 50%. I can honestly say we're at 75% organ donation for the whole of Schuylkill County right now. My goal is to get about to about 80, because I know you're never gonna get 100% out of anybody. So if I can hit that goal in the next couple of years, I think I would commit my, did my feat that I wanted to do. So thank you. Gary?
We're gonna move on to public comment.
Commissioner, if I could just make a comment on, our first item with the grant writers. After the meeting last week, Sharon and Ken checked up with me, and neither she nor Sandy are going to be here on the 22nd of April. So with that bid opening is going to be Tuesday, April 21st. Because they are the only ones that can open that bid through 10 bids. That was advertised in the paper on the 21st, but we didn't make that change in the paper openings.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Public comment? Morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Lisa Von On, co-chair of Schuylkill Indivisible, and I live in Pottsville, and I pay taxes. Last month, after Christy Nome was booted out of the Department of Homeland Security, the Atlantic magazine reported that the department could be resetting its concentration camp expansion spree. And really, like, this could be our chance to end this abomination in Tremont Township. Chairman Fedora, you said publicly just before the deed for the Big Lot warehouse was filed that you couldn't imagine putting a facility that could bring in like 10,000 or so people, prisoners and employees, in a place without water or sewer services. Even people who don't care about the indiscriminate roundups and harsh conditions of existing immigration prisons agree that this so-called plan is costly and downright insane. It's not something that anyone can make even tolerable. Last week, you stated that Congressman Musser told you that as soon as the Washington Post listed Tremont as a potential concentration camp site, he questioned DHS, but his questions were ignored. I personally can't decide whether DHS blindsided him or blindsided his constituents and local officials. Since members of Congress whose sole objective is scoring brownie points with this administration, you can see where their loyalties lie. So this administration is going to do what it wants if the concentration camp is allowed to open. Putting things in writing is all well and good. I think that what you're asking for is good. And it would work in a normal administration, but from Donald Trump on down, this regime has shown that agreements aren't worth the paper they're printed on. Its current facilities are terrible. Why would they make an exception here? Moreover, the federal government has the resources to outlawyer us at every turn. So I'm asking Commissioners Fedora and Hetherington, please stand with Governor Shapiro, with Commissioner Hess, and with all the people who don't want the feds to overhaul our county just so it can accommodate this atrocity. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Morning.
Good morning. Lara from Tremont. Joe and I emailed the three of you on Friday, March 27th, and have not yet received a response. In that email, we just requested clarification on the rules governing the public comment section due to the ongoing inconsistencies of how individuals are treated during meetings. That said, I will use my limited time today to revisit that issue. Not to revisit that issue, you can get back to me soon, I hope. Given the 3-minute time limit, I respectfully request that I be permitted to complete my remarks without interruption. As I said last week, on Wednesday, March 18th, Cheryl Mack presented each of you with the resolution stating opposition to the establishment of an ICE detention center in Tremont. This resolution carries no legal obligation. Another week has passed and it remains unsigned. That is a simple fact. Fraley Township passed a resolution opposing the ICE detention center without hesitation on March 3rd. I'm submitting a copy of that for the record. I'm not sure who I give that to. Fremont Borough has also passed a resolution opposing the ICE detention center on March 10th. I'm submitting a copy for the record. I will be direct. My husband and I did appreciate Mr. Hetherington reaching out to us prior to last week's meeting. However, what stood out to us was that it took someone he knows telling him that my husband and I are good people. It was not our consistent attendance at these meetings. It was not the fact that we rearrange our work schedules every Wednesday to be here. It was not our role in organizing a town hall so you could hear directly from your constituents. It was not our advocacy on behalf of our family, friends, and neighbors. It took a third party for you to make that connection, and that is concerning. Because it suggests that up until that point, you had not taken the time to know or understand the people you represent and why we are so upset. There is clearly a disconnect between the commissioners and the people who will be directly impacted every single day. And I'm going to go off my script because as I was coming over here, I was just getting upset. We walked out of our house today and our conversations are, does it smell like poop today? No, it smells more like a little bit of urine. Is that what they process there? I don't know. But those are our conversations. And it's been mild the last 2 weeks. They've been behaving, okay? So most all of you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if anyone else does. The processing plants. To the reporters listening, because they're listening, they reach out to us. To the lawyers listening, because they're listening and they're reaching out to us. To the Republicans and Democrats and independents listening, hear me when I say Tremont can't breathe. We already can't breathe. We go outside, it smells like the inside of a porta potty. I can't sit on my porch without doing a sniff check first. Okay, so if we seem upset, we're already dealing with too much. And I wasn't here a year and a half ago. I'd have been at every meeting if I knew what was coming. I don't know who is in charge, but we're working backwards and it's still not getting fixed. Okay, I can't go for a walk or a jog or sit on my porch without opening the door and smelling if it smells like a filled up toilet. I get it, okay? I haven't opened my windows in a year and a half since we moved here because you don't know what way the wind's blowing, all right? And we expect our elected officials to stand with us and advocate for our health and safety as a community. So we're upset about this detention center because we already don't have fresh air. We don't want to lose our water and our sewage and deal with roads driving human waste. We're already dealing with it. We ride behind them every day and then our cars smell. So if you want to really hear and understand our upset, talk to the people of Tremont, because I am. I'll be reading their stories and their concerns moving forward.
There's no problem. So we are meeting with the DEP secretary, I think it's May 27th, about the specific issue with NSP. There was a ruling put out by DEP that it says they can increase to 500 ton a day, but can't go over the monthly limit of 200 tons a day, so it's very ambiguous.
That was Liberty Soils.
Liberty Soils. Yeah, it was Liberty, not NSP. Okay. But we're meeting with them about NSP on the 27th to try to get, like, once again, this is another issue where we don't have the authority to stop it. But we're trying to do all we can, and when we met with Governor Shapiro, we took that opportunity to bring this up and try to get the DEP secretary to come here to talk about that issue.
We could have gone down over East Saturday, right?
Yeah, well, we could have went down, but we decided to have her come here.
Right.
So maybe we can take a tour of the place. That's what I'm gonna try to push for.
Joe Wiscount, Tremont resident. Good morning. DHS pauses new immigrant warehouse purchases amid review of Nome era contracts. From the Associated Press, the Department of Homeland Security is pausing the purchase of new warehouses intended to house immigrants as it scrutinizes all contracts signed under former Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, according to a senior Homeland Security official. The official also said the warehouse purchases that were already made are also being scrutinized. When asked about the reports of the pause, the Department of Homeland Security said in a statement that, as with any transition, we are reviewing agency policies and proposals. The department also noted that Mullen said during his confirmation hearing that he wanted to work with community leaders and be good partners. And I know, Larry, you just said you're meeting with him.
Well, we're trying to get a meeting with them.
Okay. I have questions I would like you to present Mark Wayne Mullen when you do meet with him. Now that you're reviewing all contracts signed under former Secretary Noem, what specific legal, environmental, or logistical issues have been identified with the Tremont, Pennsylvania facility, including plans, since we don't have any, and associated costs? When can we expect these to be shared publicly? Mark Wayne Mullen also mentioned in his confirmation hearing that he wants to work with our community leaders. What concrete steps will be taken by him to hear our questions, our concerns, and to receive feedback? Additional questions, will you commit to requiring local consent before activating Tremont? Has DHS completed a verified infrastructure capacity study for Tremont, and when will that be released? What's the total projected annual operating cost of the Tremont facility? Why were these facilities purchased without full public disclosure or any competitive bidding? Does DHS still intend to build mega facilities holding 7,000 to 10,000 detainees? Will DHS compensate local governments for their infrastructure and emergency service strain? What's the exit plan if Tremont proves unsustainable? Will you release all contracts, operators, and financial terms for the Tremont site? Who is accountable if and when this project fails both financially and operationally? And finally, did DHS evaluate any other alternative uses for the Tremont site before deciding on a detention center? Short letter to Secretary Mullen. I'm speaking about the federal government's purchase of the Tremont Detention Facility in Pennsylvania, a project that could house thousands of detainees daily in our small rural community. Right now, there are serious unanswered questions. Local residents and officials still have not seen a verified plan for water, sewage, EMS, or hospital capacity. There's been no clear public accounting of the total cost to operate a facility of this size. And importantly, this project moved forward without meaningful transparency or any local consent. At the same time, we now know DHS is actively reviewing and pausing parts of this warehouse detention expansion strategy. That tells us even at the federal level, there are concerns about whether this approach is sustainable. So my question is simple. Will you commit before moving forward with the Tremont facility to publicly releasing a full infrastructure impact study, a complete cost analysis, requiring formal input from local and state officials? And if not, why should communities like Tremont be expected to bear the risk of a project that they had no role in approving? A concerned Tremont resident, Joe Wiscount. As I mentioned in last week's meeting, I've come up with costs, and we're looking at somewhere between 400 million and 1.3 billion dollars a year. I'll get you. So it's we've gone over the cost. What I'll be submitting is a proposal. I know Larry, you mentioned at the Tremont meeting, we had concerns about the jobs and were they going to be there. This is a proposal about skipping over the detention center and going right to the federal satellite campus and how cost efficient it would be and how we can all agree that this would be a good thing for the county.
Like I said, I'm trying to get a meeting with Mark Wayne, the new secretary. I read that same pause and I was asking for a comment about it. My comment is, if they use it or don't use it, I still want the newer taxes. If it sits up there empty, I still want Tremont Township, Pineville School District, and the county made whole for the taxes. So that is not stopping no matter what they do. I want that money for the
As it should
communities
be.
and everything. So that's what we're working on. And, you know, I talked to Dan about that. I should try to set up a meeting and we're trying to get something done.
Yeah, because I think when they do their homework, they're gonna see just how expensive this is. This is never gonna get off the ground.
Yeah, so that's what we're working on, so.
Okay, thank you.
Morning.
Brianna Del Val from Orviksburg. First, I want to reiterate the man's comment from last week about meeting accessibility. I think it's really important, and there's a lot of people that would comment, so I hope that we keep looking into how maybe work with him to allow remote participation. Because people with kids, people that don't have transportation, people who are disabled, they can't participate like I can. Second, I was at the Tremont Township meeting yesterday. We heard from Chris Reidlinger, the solicitor, that in the second DHS meeting, he wasn't involved, like Fremont Township wasn't involved in the second meeting. Can
The
you
second
explain?
meeting was for the pare it down, because the first meeting had 30-some people in it, and they pared it down to just the Schuylkill County commissioners, Rose County commissioners, our attorneys, DHS, representatives from Congressman Muser's office, Congressman Muser,
That's CMA.
SCMA, because of the water and sewer there. And I believe that was it. Am I missing anybody? I think that
I don't
was
think the
all
school,
they.
yeah, I don't think the school districts.
The school districts weren't in that one or anything, so, yeah, it was pared down to them, that groups.
Okay, will the township be involved in future meetings?
If, eventually, yes, when we get it down, we're trying to get, well, now they're on a pause, but we're still trying to get information. We're trying to get specific meetings just for Schuylkill and separate, nothing against Berks County. But just their situation is different than ours.
Yeah.
They're 1,500 beds, we're 7,500 beds. So we're trying to get meetings specifically for Schuylkill County. And then once we get to that point, I'll include somebody from the township.
Cool. I think there was talk of an email maybe from Congressman Muser's office, and it seemed that the payments in lieu of taxes, a lot of it was saying that it was gonna go through the county and then be given to the township and then to the school district. Can you explain that?
As far as I know, yes, they wanna pay one thing in lieu of taxes, and then we would distribute to the township and the municipality.
Okay, would it be a one-time payment?
It would
or
be a one-time payment for 3 years.
3 years? Okay, is there any way that, I don't know, is there a benefit to just for us as people from Schuylkill County, like going, like accepting one payment instead of having like separate payments?
That's the way they propose to do it, so that's what they typically do wherever they have those kind of agreements, they like to do one, and then I guess it's easier, just like any banking.
Sure.
Right, and then we distribute it, because we know all the tax rates, we know what Tremont Township's tax rate is, we know what the school district's tax rates are, what the county is.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's why I assume,
Yeah.
that's why they wanna do it that way.
Lastly, I know Tremont Township is really trying to attract other businesses there. They just had 2 additional parcels purchased by the Game Commission, so they're also losing tax revenue on those parcels. Is there anything that like the county can do, or like Sedco or anything like that to like kind of help with that? I know there are some available properties out there.
They're trying to marketing, I know Senco is working on this big box and the Amazon warehouses, and then the second phase 2 Amazon warehouses is that in Fraley?
That's in Fraley.
They're in Fraley, you know, so I know there's active sites going on, and I don't think the Amazon warehouse is open yet, the second one. As far as I know, it's not, right, Paul?
They're in the hiring process, but it hasn't opened yet.
They're in the
That's
hiring process.
to my knowledge, right?
Okay, like I know they fitted it out, but I don't know if they didn't get the occupancy permit, as far as I know.
That's all.
Okay, thank you. Any other public comment? Morning, Jeff.
Set up for me already.
Yeah, it's fine.
Jeff Dunkel, Palo Alto. 2 great proclamations. Just want to mention Ron Boris. I don't think anybody actually mentioned his name, but
Oh, sorry.
he is the face of organ donation in the county. Keep up the great work, Ron. Good job.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, comment I made last week about Muser's office. They did reach out, letting me know that the paperwork was filed. Just to clarify, there was no leeway made with anything. But last Thursday, I received another correspondence from the office basically saying there's a change in the department, in the federal government, and basically nothing they can do. I mean, it's not their fault directly, but nothing that even the federal government can do because of the change to help us out. So I know we're not the only department, and speaking with some of the higher ups in the county fire companies, and it's a shame that not gonna be able to even go after some grant money. So hopefully federal government gets their head out of their ass on that stuff too. Moving on, 6 elected officials not here at 9:35 this morning, all collecting about $100,000 a year salary and benefits. Still no clarification from Ms. Gaffney on her FMLA claim. Ms. Stevens, the new right to know request was filed. Speaking of the right to know requests, I know several people I've spoken to recently that filed them. The process for the county has become absolutely horrible. You have 5 business days to respond. It's always the 5th business day. After that, 90% of them, they ask for the 30-day extension. On the 30th day, at 4:20 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. is when you get your response. Most of those need to be appealed. There used to be a calendar, nobody gets access now to drop off the right to knows due to an incident that apparently occurred. There used to be a calendar on a desk in there that had the person's name of the right to know and when to respond at 4:20 p.m. that day. Not sure if that's still the practice, but it's absolutely horrible. I know, for instance, Sharon, I filed several right to knows. Within 24 hours, she had all the documentation down there. It went to the 5th day, asked for a 30-day extension. And then on the 30th day at 4:20 is when I got it. She asked me several times, did I get the stuff? And it was sitting there for 30 days. So I think that needs to be looked into, not only by the commissioners, but also the state. Did we find out yet if the Jane Doe 5 lawsuit is still active? Anybody confirm?
I don't know who you're calling Jane Doe 5, so.
Well, that's what it's listed as in the federal, that's what it's listed as in the court documents. I don't want to mention the name.
No.
That's what it's listed as in the court documents, is Jane Doe 5.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, I think it is still pending.
Okay, thank you.
If
It's the one I'm thinking of.
Is there a Jane Doe 6 instead?
No, but we have.
Okay.
No, and I don't know who Jane Doe 4 is. I don't know who Jane.
Well, Jane Doe 1 through 4 was already resolved.
4. Jane Doe
Right.
5 is, if that,
If that's who you think, I know which one you're talking about.
Okay.
the short answer is yes, I think it is.
Okay. 2 quick things. The data center in Gordon and possibly in Mountain Valley. Is there any input, thoughts from the commissioners on that?
Well, Mountain Valley, I don't know if that's a data center or not.
I said possible, but the one in Gordon.
What I read about the one in Mountain Valley is that it's the person that bought it is manufacturing and warehousing. That's what I know of that so far, what I've been told, and it's for warehousing and manufacturing. The one in Gordon, there possibly could be a data center on, I think it's called the North Point property in High Ridge. Other than that, I don't know if it's 100% concrete or not. And there's also one going on in Klein Township. So they're all moving forward, but I don't know.
Yeah,
The one that's further along, furthest along is the one in Klein, as far as I know. North Point, I don't know where they're exactly at. If that's 100% definite.
Right. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I watched it on national news last week, maybe the week before. It specifically mentioned Schuylkill County and other counties and saying how cheap the land is and the limited laws against it, and that's why they're finding these places. So unfortunately, now we're gonna get hit with those on top of NSP, on top of the ICE detention center. I mean, we're becoming.
Well, I still think data centers in the right location with the right stuff.
I agree.
Isn't a bad thing.
I agree.
They bring immense tax revenue. They do bring about.
All of these things are good in the right area.
In the right area,
Right.
100%. And the one thing we're lucky in Schuylkill County, we do have a lot of coal lands that are isolated, that aren't by residents. You know, if they're in the right location, not next to residents,
Not losing revenue.
and, you know, they will add revenue. You know,
Right.
you know, 3 data centers would generate, I don't know, exactly $8 to $12 million a year in new revenue, just 3 in this county. That's just the county taxes.
Right.
$8 to $10 million in new revenue, maybe more. That, to generate that kind of revenue, you would have to build houses on probably half of your farmlands in Schuylkill County for individual houses to equal that type of revenue. So nobody wants their taxes to go up, but we gotta do things to bring stuff in that generates new revenue, so we have to find the appropriate area for it, the right location for it, make sure that they're not impacting the electric grid, because I believe now they passed a law that, or I think there's something that they have to produce their own energy, so they don't impact the
Right.
power grid. And even the ones that I've been seeing, their water consumption, there's some that are start now to use mine pool water.
And
To
recirculating it to us.
Yeah, they're recirculating the mine pool water, and they're not using high volumes of water, so, you know, the county above us, somebody bought, I don't know how many acres that was by the power plant up there, for an astronomical amount of money. So, in the right locations, right locations with the right things, I don't think they're a bad thing.
One
In a
other,
town or next to, like, right here, like, right next to Pottsville, or, right next to a town, no, that's not a good place for
Right.
it.
one last thing real quick, there's been a viral video that has been going around since Monday. Uh, a 25-year-old male in Middleport, not sure if any of you gentlemen seen this, trying to meet up with a 14-year-old female for sexual acts. Very graphic, long discussions. It was 814 predator hunters on social media. It went pretty viral, so I encourage all of you to look into it. I think there's gonna be some backlash for possibly the county, but apparently they reached out to the DA and spoke with either him or a detective. It's very clear in the videos, what he stated. And there's many posts up since with the county district attorney's office name, phone number, email, everything, stating that the evidence was forwarded to them at their request. And them and the Pennsylvania State Police out of Frackville both refused to respond or deal with this matter. I find it very concerning if it's true. That's why I'm hoping Mike can come and shed some light on it. I'm sure he's getting a lot of emails and phone calls, but it was pretty graphic. And I mean, if it's anybody in this room's daughter, sister, niece, cousin, it's still disturbing, and I'm sure you're on the same boat as that. But there was Superior Court action from a different, they call them predator hunters, Luzerne County. That was unanimous decision to be able to enforce these type of things. And I'm just curious as to why this hasn't been looked into.
Well, we show the video Stanford.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
And is Middleport is state police, and don't they have a contract with,
Blight was on.
does Blight do Middleport?
But they're not on state police.
Okay, they don't have 24 from, because I know they did a group of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, show me the video after meeting. Is there any other public comment? If not, we'll move on with the meeting. Now, motion to approve the minutes for the March 25th meeting.
So moved, Chairman.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
I have a motion to approve the minutes from the work session of April 1st.
So moved.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
The motion to approve the grant writers with the change of Tuesday, the 21st of April.
Motion approved, Chairman.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
The motion to approve what was presented by 911 on a work session.
So moved, sir.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
The motion to approve what was presented by Public Works at a work session.
Motion to approve both positions.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Can I have a motion to approve what was presented at the solicitor's office?
Motion to approve, sir.
Second?
The question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Who's got changed? I want to table.
It is solicitor's office or not?
No, solicitor's office, sorry, and jump in.
I think we did.
Yeah, we did this.
Did we? Okay, I'm sorry.
Tax assessment. Whoops, there's one missing. Oh, we tabled, but it can still be on, it wasn't tabled at an official.
It's off,
Okay.
it's off that, so you can
Okay.
go ahead.
Tax assessment, can we do the two, appointments, reappointments?
Motion to do the two reappointments.
Second?
Another question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Finance officer.
Good morning, Commissioners. Just 3 items. These are simple adjustments within the year. There's no additional expenditure on the county's part. Engineering, real estate, $1,500, planning, $3,500, and mental health, 88,000, and they are.
Okay, thank you. Can I have a motion to approve or presented by the county administration?
Motion to approve the workforce development appointment.
Second?
Other questions?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Human Resource Office.
Good morning, Commissioners. Children and Youth, we have two appointments to the position of Clerk Texas 2. They are Raymond Majorino and Valerie Vickery. The rate is 17.1681, effective 4/2026, registered the contract. In Drug and Alcohol appointment of Jessica Mararki as Case Management Specialist Trainee. The rate is 18.0444, effective 4/13/26. All appointments pending drug test and physical where appropriate. All actions involving salary or for positions being created or pending salary board approval. One information regarding the treasurer's office, the promotion of Alicia Beach, tax collection official, second deputy, effective 4/13/26, coming from tax collection official.
Have a motion for the children and youth in drug and alcohol.
So moved, sir.
Second?
Other question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Any new business? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Salary board, report of any executive sessions.
None were held.
Public comment for salary board. Then motion to approve the salary board minutes of March 25th.
So moved, Chairman.
Second?
Other question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Controller Yekenship. Yes.
Then motion to approve the minutes from the April 1st meeting.
So moved, sir.
Second?
Other question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Controller Yekenship. Yes.
Human Resource Office.
In the treasurer's office, we're eliminating the position of Clerk Typist 2, effective 4/13/26. Also, in the treasurer's office, a wage increase for Clerk Typist 2 to 19.0375, effective 4/13/26. And treasurer's office reclassification to tax collection official, second deputy, effective 4/13/26, coming from tax collection official. Also in treasurer's office, set salary for Alicia Beach, tax collection official, second deputy. The rate is 19.0375, effective 4/13/26. And in drug and alcohol, set salary for Jessica Mararki, case management specialist trainee. The rate is 18.0444, effective 4/13/26.
Then motion for the more positions with treasurer's office.
So moved, Chairman.
Second?
No question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Controller Yekenship.
Yes.
Treasurer Yike.
Yes.
I can have a motion for the position with drug and alcohol.
So moved, sir.
Second?
No question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Controller Yekenship. Yes.
Is there any new business for salary board?
Motion to adjourn, sir.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, retirement board.
And yes, you're right, yeah.
We always still finish the retirement board. Report of any executive session for the retirement board,
None were held.
public comment for retirement board. I could have a motion to approve the minutes from March 11th.
So moved, Chairman.
Second?
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Controller Yekenship. Yes. Treasurer Yike. Yes.
Good morning, Sandra Casana. During the month of March 2026, 3 members received retirements of $670,518 with pro rata payments of $1,967. 4 members received refunds of $2,095. One member received a rollover of $1,211. One beneficiary received a continued monthly payment with a pro rata payment of $872. 3 deceased retirees received pro rata payments of $961. The market value of the retirement fund as of March 31st, 2026 was $184,106,101. The market value of the retirement fund as of April 8th, 2026 is $185,859,898. We have Amanda Colbert is requesting to vest her pension And we have 2 buyback requests. Michelle Legassi is requesting to buy back 2 of her leaves of absences from 2024. And Alicia McBreen is requesting to buy back her 2021 leave of absence and her 2023 leave of absence. Thank you.
And motion approved. Controllers report?
So moved, sir.
Second,
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
yes.
Controller Yekenship,
Yes.
Treasurer Yike.
Yeah.